Hello, welcome to a reading vlog, a reading challenge, a little kind of readathon thing. I am tackling a timer. I've done this thing many a time before. The aim of the game for this vlog, it is a 4-day weekend here in the UK for Easter. So I have 4 days to tackle a 24-hour timer. So I'm starting at 24 hours, I'm going to bring it down to 0. I've done that before. That bit's not the bit that's going to be the, challenge of this. My plan for in this 24-hour readathon is to read the Chestnut Spring series. Okay, I'm going into this with the intention of reading the whole series. Whether I do that or not is possibly a different matter, but that is the plan. It is Friday. I did start last night. Just past midnight. I read for like the first half an hour. I've got my timer here that tells me I'm at 23:28, so just over half an hour, and I did manage to get 33 pages into Flawless. So far so good. I figure that everyone and their mother knows what this book is about already, but if you don't, Cowboy romance. This is about a girl whose name I've already forgotten. Summer? Is her name Summer? Summer. Her name is Summer. And her dad is some sort of like PR manager for a bull riding cowboy who makes a stupid publicity mistake and ruins his career, and therefore needs a babysitter to whip him into shape to bring his career back on track. Enters his PR manager's daughter, Summer, who's going to stick to him like glue to make sure he's a good boy. Yeah, 33 pages in even, and she's now pulling up to his home. I think this is going to be like a he can't stand her to he probably very quickly falls in love with her. We will see. The rules were simple. Keep my hands off his daughter. Ooh, rules are made to be broken. Everyone seems to love Elsie Silver, so I'm excited to give it a go. And I have read a cowboy romance before in the Paisley Hope one that I read, that I can't remember the name of either, Holding the Reins, and I did really enjoy that. And as I say, I've heard fantastic things about Elsie Silver, so we will see how this goes. I do also have it on my Kindle just for ease and for reading it in bed with my clicker and stuff, so I might flip between options because they're all on Kindle Unlimited, but they also all look very pretty together. And massive shout out to Morgan for supplying me with these books. This video is basically at Morgan's request, so hope you enjoy, and I hope everyone else enjoys as well. Right, I'm gonna crack on, but I've already used a portion of the day, and actually I still have other things to do today, in that we have been out this morning and been and purchased our wedding rings. That was the one thing left on my list of like absolutely must-dos for the wedding. Everything else is booked. The registrar is paid, the notice of marriage is booked in, we've got our appointment scheduled for that. Jake's got his suits appointments scheduled. My dress is done. The venue, obviously we've still got a lot to pay for that, but is done. Photographer's booked, florist is booked, DJ is booked, a lot of the decor stuff is booked. There's still like little bits to do, but all of the like big items, all of the must-haves might not all be paid for, but are now all booked for the wedding, including our wedding rings, and I love mine. I'm very excited by it. And now me and Jake are going to take Finny Boy out for a bit. Oh, he's just looked up at me. We think we're going to go and find somewhere nice to go and have some lunch with Finn together, as it is a glorious bank holiday Friday. And then I will have to crack on with the reading tonight. Jake's out tonight, so I can crack on with some reading then. am shockingly bad at vlogging. I have read so much since we last spoke. I last spoke to you before me and Jake went out for lunch yesterday, right? I told you we went out in the morning and we went ring shopping and got our wedding rings. Still can't believe we've done that. And then we went out for lunch and went to walk Finn. We took Finn out for pub lunch with us, somewhere that he could come with us. It was really lovely. I think I got a little bit of B-roll of it. But then I don't think I updated you at all for the rest of the night. But I read Flawless in the bath. Not quite all of it, but a good portion of it. I read 300 pages of this in the bath last night and then went to bed and finished it. So I did complete this book. And you know what? I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. It was surprisingly a nice mix of sweet and spicy. I had in my mind that Elsie Silver was like pure filth. And clearly I had that wrong. Because it's not pure filth. It is sweet and there is... well, I knew there would be plot. But like, there was more plot than I thought there was going to be. And there wasn't that much filth. It was a really good mix and it felt like a good balanced romance and I ended up enjoying it more than I thought I would. I'm giving this one a solid 3.5 star rating. Yeah, 3.5. Not like a new favourite. I don't think I became incredibly invested in these characters, but I did enjoy it more than I thought I would. In my mind, of course, I was also comparing this to the Paisley Hope one that I've read. Oh my god, every time I forget what that's called. Holding the Reins. And I do think I enjoyed that one more than I enjoyed this one, and I think I gave that one 4 stars, so this being a 3.5 feels about right to me. So I would say if you're a fan of Elsie Silver and you haven't read the Paisley Hope ones, Holding the Reins, and the sequel is Training the Heart, I haven't read that one yet. I do have it on my Kindle though. But yeah, if you like Elsie Silver and you haven't read Paisley Hope yet, I would recommend, because comparable cowboy romances, I would say that maybe Paisley Hope was a little bit spicier, maybe. But yeah, I did enjoy this plenty enough. Not super invested, but I liked the development of the romance. I thought it was sweet. The family dynamics from Summer's side are infuriating. I think that one of the later books in this series is about Winter, who is Summer's sister, and Winter in this one is a piece of work. She is unpleasant, to put that in the mildest possible terms, so I'm not sure how I would then feel about reading a book from Winter's perspective where we're like rooting for her romance. I don't know which one it is, but I'm pretty sure there is one. So not looking forward to that at this point, but I'm sure by the time I get there it might be different. I don't know. But yeah, I liked it. It was sweet. And the epilogue, very cute, but of course predictable. It's a romance. Predictable. And the third act breakup in this, not even breakup, look at me using terminology like I think I know what it means. The bit where it's like you think they're together and then there's a miscommunication and someone says something that they didn't mean and then they're all like, and don't talk to each other for a couple of weeks. That would normally infuriate me, but it wasn't so bad. And I still enjoyed reading that portion of it as well. So yeah, 3.5 stars for this one. And I can confirm that I have moved straight on to Heartless, and I am already 117 pages into this one. One of the things from Flawless that I really liked and wanted more of was Willa. Summer's best friend Willa, who we only really got glimpses of through the occasional text message and then the bit at the end where Willa kind of comes into Summer's physical life and is like sorting her shit out, like, come on girl, save a horse, ride a cowboy. I liked Willa and I wanted more of her. So when I picked this one up and saw that it was Willa's book, immediately excited about this. This one also, although excited because Willa, a little bit apprehensive because nanny and single dad. Not sure if I'm gonna enjoy that vibe, but Willa as a character, hilarious. The fact that the first thing she does in this book is drop her pants in a cafe to a complete stranger, and she just rolls with it and isn't mortified. Hilarious. I like her as a character, but wasn't sure how I was going to feel about so much of the kid content, because the male love interest in this one is a single dad. It's Rhett from this one, Rhett's brother Cade, and obviously Willa is Summer's best friend, so, you know, all keeping it in the family. That's weird, not quite in the family, but you know. So she's a nanny for his child Luke, and I wasn't sure how I'd feel about the child content, but Willa and her approach to kids seems very, like, mature. She just treats them like a small adult, which I like. And I'm liking seeing Cade soften a little bit because he is the asshole brother. So yeah, I'm enjoying this one so far. And I've heard a few people say that this is their favourite one, but I just really like Willa's character. So I'm excited to continue. But I thought I had better give you an update as I've finished a book and I'm a decent portion through another. And in terms of my timer, I am at 17 hours and 34 minutes. So, going strong. Okay, updating this vlog, doing this vlog has just generally been something I've been really bad at. I did not know that over this weekend I would end up being so busy, but today, so far, I have read nothing, and I have one day left of this long weekend. I've spent all day with my grandparents, which has been lovely, and then me and Jake have caught up on all of the F1 stuff that we've missed. And it's been a lovely day, but I am very behind on my reading, and I had wanted to finish another book today. But I didn't update you yesterday when I finished Heartless. So I have finished 2 books over the last 3 days. That's not good enough. But Heartless, let me talk to you about this one. I thought I was going to be on track to enjoy this one more than I enjoyed Flawless, just because I like Willa more as a character. She's kind of sarky, she's a joke, she's funny. I liked her. What I didn't think I was going to love about this one was how involved the children were, because this is a nanny and a single dad romance. I didn't think I was going to love the kid. But Luke, the kid in this, isn't so bad. He was kind of fun. He was kind of enjoyable. He was a laugh. I liked him. This one, I think, was shaping up to be a 4-star until a certain something happened in the last 100 pages, the last 75 pages. If you've read it, you will know what I mean, but the surprising thing that happens at the end of this did knock it down a bit for me. Not my favourite move that they could have made. So this one did end up being another 3.5 star. But you know what I did enjoy? I enjoyed seeing characters that I already knew from this and just feeling like it's a continuation of this cast of characters' lives, which doesn't make me so nervous about continuing. So when I finished Heartless last night, I started Powerless, and I am 52 pages into Powerless now. And my friend Freddie has told me that this is her favourite book of the series. We will see how we go about this being mine. This one, again, follows characters from the same cast of characters, because of course it does, but not one of the brothers this time, one of the brothers' friends, and one of the brothers, or the brother's cousin. And this one is a friends to lovers situation that starts on her wedding day. And it says it on the blurb, her life falls apart on her wedding day. It only makes sense that he's the one to swoop in and save me. So, she's glad I crashed the wedding sort of vibes. Hello, busted. But yeah, I am 53 pages into this one. I am probably now not going to finish this tonight, because it is already 10 p.m. and I've read nothing. I am really falling behind on the 30 and 30 now, because in the last 3 days I've read 2 books. So I am failing miserably. My plan for tomorrow, which is Monday, is going to be to read. I want to hopefully do nothing but read tomorrow and get through more of this. I'm going to be reading this in bed. Am I going to stay up late to read? Probably. I do, because all of these books are also on Kindle Unlimited, I do have it on my Kindle as well, where I've been reading along, and I can pop this in my little Kindle holder with my clicker and read along in bed, which does naturally just make me read for longer in bed, because I can get properly snuggled in with my clicker under the duvet and be really lazy. But that does then make me read for longer in bed, so hopefully I can get maybe 100 pages done before I fall asleep. If I can get to like the 150 page mark, we'll see. Overall, enjoying the series more than I thought I would so far. But this vlog has not gone to plan. This reading challenge has not gone to plan. My timer has also not gone to plan. I'm at 13 hours 53. I'm not finishing that tomorrow. I'm gonna have to carry this on longer than I wanted. So it's now instead gonna be just, can I finish Chestnut Spring in 24-hour timer? And I feel like the answer might end up being no. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just gonna keep going and we hope for the best and we take what we get. Here I am again, friends. I told you I was gonna read maybe like 100 pages in bed last night. I read 300 pages in bed last night. I was up very late. But my timer is now down to 8 hours and 9 minutes. And it is midday on the Monday. So might I actually finish the timer on the Monday? Honestly, would be a shock. But I might get closer than I thought I would yesterday. But I have now finished Powerless. So I am 3 books down, and I stick to my story of I'm enjoying this series more than I thought I would. However, I'm also still sticking with each of these is coming out at a 3.5 star. This one is definitely the filthiest so far, in my opinion. Like, they've all had spice, they've all been saucy, but I've read 3, which is over half actually. All 3 of them have been saucy, but they haven't been, like, filthy. The first 2 haven't been filthy, in my opinion. Whereas this one, filthy, saucy, very hot. Hot. The shower scene in this one was very abrupt. In fact, most things with Jasper in this one ended up being very abrupt. He's a character that feels very out of control. He's definitely got some PTSD going on. He's had a rough hand dealt to him in the past and he needs to feel in control. And he takes control where he can. That being in the bedroom. It's hot. It's saucy. It's spicy. I enjoyed. There were elements of their relationship, though, that I didn't enjoy. And there were elements of Sloane's family, like, obviously with Sloane's family life, I don't think you're supposed to enjoy it. Like, they both have interesting histories. Sloane's family have not been great to her. Obviously, her life falls apart on her wedding day. That's not great. But even then, like, between them, there were certain bits where I was like, oh, don't like that, didn't like that. Without spoilers, I can't exactly tell you why. Whenever I do, like, a book review, is that what this is? And I feel like I have thoughts for why I did or didn't like something, but I can't tell you because spoilers. It just feels so enormously pointless. But for the most part, I had a fun time with this. This was definitely a fun read. Hence why I read 300 pages of it in bed last night. And they've all been fun reads, don't get me wrong on that. But I'm just not feeling, like, super into the characters and super duper attached. And I don't know which one I would say is my favourite at this point. Probably still Heartless, maybe. They've all been 3.5 stars, so they've all been on an even field. But I think just Willa as a character still is the one that I have liked the most. There were things about Sloane that I didn't love. And I think it is mainly that she is just putty. And even when she's trying to reclaim herself and no longer be putty, she is still kind of putty. I just think she could have been bolder. I don't know. And then with the relationship, it's very much for her, like, all about him and what he wants, because she's always wanted it. I don't know. I just feel like she could have stood on her own a bit better. But I liked Jasper. But Willa and Cade are probably still my favourite. Yeah, okay. Anyway, moving on. Next up is Reckless. This is Winter's book. I, so far, can't stand Winter, but she was kind of set up to be an unlikable character from the very beginning, her relationship. She is Summer's sister. Summer from the first book has a sister called Winter. And that's who we're following in this one. And she's kind of set up to be unlikable. Bad words describe her. But people have said that she has a pretty strong character arc in this one and redeems herself a bit and ends up being kind of lovable. We'll see how I feel about that. I'll be the judge of that. But the plan now is to read all of this today. So let's get cracking and see how I end up feeling about Winter and Theo, who is a character who's popping up out of nowhere. He was in book 1 again. He's a friend of Rhett's from book 1, or his little protege. Rhett is his mentor. He is a bull rider. But we'll see how that goes. But he does seem to have just like popped up out of nowhere for this one. I'm not looking forward to this one because I don't like Winter. But we'll see. Hopefully it's still a fun quick read. Another one done. That is book number 4. Didn't love this one quite as much. Well, do I say love? Have I really loved any of them? I've had a decent time. But they've all been 3.5 stars until this one, which I have given 2.5. I feel very indifferent about this one. I kind of went into this thinking I'm not going to enjoy it as much as the others because I didn't like Winter as a character, and Winter is our female main character in this one, and the male love interest being Theo, who was a character from an earlier book that wasn't around for a great deal of time. So I wasn't super into the characters, but then also the, like, surprise pregnancy just isn't something I'm about, and then it becomes a single mum romance because of a, well, just royal miscommunication, I guess. I just didn't love the relationship. I didn't love Winter as a character. I just felt kind of indifferent about it. It was a quick read. It was another kind of fun read. But I definitely was the least invested in these characters. And again, not as filthy as Powerless, in my opinion. So I think my ranking for these so far is Heartless, Flawless, Powerless, Reckless. I still think Heartless is my favourite, just because of Willa. But Powerless was good because of how filthy it was. But I preferred the characters in Flawless. So that's the order I'm going to go in. And I have also started Hopeless. My timer is at 3 hours and 40 minutes left on it. And I am 115 pages into Hopeless. And I hate it. Hate it. I am not enjoying myself with this one at all. This one is age gap, fake fiance. The fake fiance bit isn't the bit that's bothering me. It's the age gap and the way the older man talks and thinks about this younger woman is just giving me all kinds of ick. He's 35, she is 22. So, I mean, they are both, they're both consenting adults, don't get me wrong. but that's an age gap that I cannot fathom. 35 and 22. If it was 45 and 32, that wouldn't make me feel so bad, but 22 just feels really young to be dating a 35-year-old, especially when he says lines such as, you know, she was being born when I was a teenager, she was an infant when I was a teenager. Ick. Big, fat ick. But they are both consenting adults, so, you know, if that doesn't give other people the ick, there is nothing wrong with this. It's just not something I am personally enjoying at all. And then if we add the fake dating thing onto it, or the fake fiance thing, the lies that this man is then telling his family, who love and care about him so much and are so desperate to see him happy, and then he's just lying. I don't get it. I don't buy the reasoning for it or anything. I'm just not enjoying this one at all. I think if it weren't for the fact that I'm doing this still during 30 books in 30 days, I would probably think about DNFing this. But I've already invested 115 pages into it. I have it on my Kindle. My Kindle tells me I'm 30% through on this already. So I will probably just continue it tonight on my Kindle, see how far I get. Yeah, I'm not loving it. 3 hours 40. Could I do the rest of that in 3 hours 40? Probably. But it is already 10 o'clock at night and I have work tomorrow, so I'm unlikely to finish my timer today, but I'm a lot closer than I thought I was going to be. So much closer than I thought I was going to be. So, you know, for the weekend, not bad going. These four, and I mean, it will probably be closer to half of this one as well. Not terrible. Could be a lot worse. But yeah, I'm going to carry on with this in bed, and I will give you an update, I suppose, probably tomorrow when I've either finished the book or finished the timer, because I'm not going to take my camera to bed with me. Hello. My timer's finished, and I have read Hopeless. Do I wish I had DNF'd this one? Yes. I didn't like this one. I didn't like it. I couldn't get past the age gap and the ickiness and the nickname that he gives to her being Sugar Tits. One, it just makes me think of Gavin and Stacey. But two, if someone actually ever, like, unironically called someone that, just bleh. But mainly the age gap and the way he talks about her and how young she is, I can't get past it. As I've said, they're both legal consenting adults. She's 22, he's 35. Yeah, which is legal and fine. And if age gap doesn't bother you, then absolutely, there's nothing wrong with it. But for me personally, I am just not a fan of this one. I'm also just not a fan of the way that he behaves in this one, which is a shame because it's Beau, and he was in the military, and throughout all of the other books, anytime he's been mentioned, I've really liked him. And then in this one, obviously, we're from his perspective, so you're more in his head, so it is more, you know, the real him versus the outwards persona that you see from everyone else's perspective. And I get why they've done that, and he's clearly suffering from the PTSD of being in the military, and he went missing in action in one of the earlier books and stuff. So I get that he's, like, struggling, but then to have this, like, young, pretty thing come and, like, make him feel alive again, I didn't like a lot about this. I wasn't a fan. And I'm just glad that it's done, to be honest with you. This got a nice, solid 2-star. Even that, I think I might be being generous, but it was still, like, quick, easy reading, but I just didn't enjoy this one. So 2-star, bottom of my ranking, really glad to be done with it. So last place, we're going to go through my full ranking now of Chestnut Springs. Last place, Hopeless. Second to last place, Reckless. Coming in at third place, Powerless. Coming in at second place, Flawless. And first place still goes to Heartless. But these top three, I've mentioned it enough in this vlog, these top three all got 3.5 star, then we've got 2.5 star and a 2-star. The first three in this series I actually enjoyed a lot more than I thought I was going to. I had a fun time, they were quick, fun reads, I liked the characters, they were spicy, I enjoyed. Reckless was okay, I was just indifferent about it, I didn't like Winter as a character. The last one I actually actively disliked. So it's been a roller coaster, but overall, would I read more from Elsie Silver? Yes. Yes, I would. Surprisingly. This has been an interesting experiment. This has also made me more excited once again to pick up the next Paisley Hope book, Training the Heart, which comes after Holding the Reins, which I know I've mentioned a couple of times in this video because they are comparable, so I'm now a bit more excited to pick that one up. But overall, it has taken me the full 24 hours to get through these 5 books. In fact, a little bit under. I had like 10 minutes left on my timer, so that's fine. I just let it run down because I wasn't going to read anything else in 10 minutes. 24 hours on a clock, and the full Chestnut Springs series completed. Ha 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 ha. Winner. Okay, I'm excited to move on to something else though, actually. I've got some manga that I'm eyeing up. I'm falling behind for 30 and 30, so I need to get a shift on with some of those other things to catch up. So I'm going to dive straight into another vlog, which will be my final cram for 30 and 30. But I hope you have enjoyed this one. I don't know what this has ended up actually being. I don't know if this has been entertaining or I don't know how long or short this has ended up being either. I have no real memory of how this has gone. It's just been Chestnut Springs. But I hope you have enjoyed anyway, but I'll see you in whatever comes next. Bye!